Chicago.
No, I was just if you guys go off of that, but
Oh, you in tech and
and
losing content or something like that is a bad memory. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, you're like the personification of Mercury retrograde. At least what I think it is, and the challenges with tech.
I think of myself like the beginning of 2001 Space Odyssey. And just smashing a computer against the fucking wall or something.
You get so frustrated.
I wish I could go back to nonlinear editing.
We don't have time for that.
We don't have time with that. No, I mean I enjoy digital editing and stuff like that, but there is like this one factor where it's like the timing is great. It moves along how it needs to, like it's consolidated. But just some days, randomly, the whole fucking shit goes haywire and deletes itself, and you can't do nothing about it. I hate that shit.
And then if you take like 10 deep breaths, walk away from it, get something to eat, and come back to it, it's usually back. It's usually there. It's true. But you do good work.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome.
But there is something really exciting that's coming up, specifically that as it relates to walking away from tech.
Oh yes. I'll sit up.
Sit up for that. We are going on
Costa Rica.
Yes, and we were doing all these kinky things.
Kinky things in Costa Rica with Royal Fetish Films.
Look at you. Look at you how calm you are already. Just like,
that's because we're leaving the trappings of modern society.
We are.
Not all of it, because there is an infinity pool, and
I mean,
and other shit that will be. But I mean, for the most part, that's one of the things that is the sexiest part of it to me. What's that leaving?
Yeah.
And gonna be able to just focus. Like I feel like I'm gonna come back levitating and flogging at the same time or some shit. Like I'm gonna be able to completely focus all of my mind
energy
into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna actually be mad responsible ahead of time and edit like a month's worth of content so that way I won't feel stressed while I'm there either.
I'm doing all the tech shit now, like going through those applications like a crazy person, collecting that money on every app platform possible, like all of that stuff, so that way, yes, when we get there, all the logistics are set.
So we also have private chef that's gonna be there. That's my like number 2 aspect.
Catering to our dietary, not needs, but wants. I'm gonna have cake.
I'm gonna just eat mad healthy.
Protein. Yeah, I'm gonna have healthy cake.
Protein cake.
Protein cake. Slices. I heard the fruit is so delectable.
Yeah, that's just like fruit, vegetables, and all that. I'm really looking forward to.
So this is for those of you who don't know, which is really strange because we've been talking about it for like 2 months. Has it been 2 months? No, like a month now.
Yeah, like a month.
Okay. Kink in Costa Rica, February 2023. We are have rented out a villa, huge villa in the.
No, don't tell them where exactly. They're gonna try to show up there.
Oh yeah,
shit.
that's
Motherfuckers gonna be trekking through the jungle.
Okay, yeah, don't do that. And we are bringing 12 to 15 vetted guests.
Yes.
So far, off the top of my head, like at last I checked, we were somewhere like at 9 or at 10 guests selected. So it's
you better hurry the fuck up.
Yes.
I'm trying to go.
And the cool thing is like making sure that there is a mix of like people who are like new to this and willing to like be vulnerable and open to exploring, and people who have been doing this for a while and want to be in that new energy and also like be in a space that is judgment free yet safe. We have an awesome guardian that's going to be there so that you and I can just like not have to remember every and anything, have somebody watching our back and watching our guests.
Even though we're going to do that anyway.
Even though you're going to do that anyways.
I can't help it.
You know me, I'm just like, watch me, okay?
But I think, we have activities lined up. And some of those activities obviously are going to be, people need to be physically ready for. But I think the other aspect that I'm interested in is the mental and spiritual aspects that people are going to be able to get in tune with, where it's like, you know, leaving those trappings behind, but then also walking into a space where it's like, I am here to experience some kinky shit, but also be able to sit in it. You know, a lot of times we go out and we experience something kinky and then it's like, okay, you know, it's, you know, events over, munch is over, go home. But here we're going to be able to experience it and sit in it and have a conversation about it and, you know, really revel and roll around in that shit and love it and in a space where, you know, you are going to be able to have us there as your master fetish trainers to work you through it, whether it be in the physical aspect or that mental and spiritual aspect that we're talking about.
I love that. And I am also super proud that we are doing this as guests of Costa Rica, not going to take over.
Yeah, we're not going to go colonize Costa Rica.
No, we are going to
recolonize it.
Yeah, right. We're going to be able to pay respect to the land that we'll be on. And work within the boundaries of the
space that
of
we're
the
in.
hosts, that we're being brought in. So, if you want to be one of the last few to join in, make sure you check out the website Kink in Costa Rica.
Yes.
So we're chilling.
We are chilling.
You want to answer some questions?
We got some new digs.
I know, it feels good.
I feel like we're in a space that has like a babbling brook nearby.
It does.
Oh.
When we walked in, I don't know.
I didn't even hear that shit babbling.
Because we were babbling. But it does have some water. Yeah. I peeped that right when we walked in.
I feel like there's a bonsai tree in here somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
So let's get into these questions. Who want to know some shit?
Okay. So
where are these questions from?
These questions are from all over the internet that were sent in to us. And so we're just going to go where the people are taking us today.
I'm getting comfortable.
King. Huh. Okay. I have a question. Like when people send their questions, I have a question. I am a newbie in the kink love style. I like that. Love style. And I've noticed many, if not all people in this style battle with sexual trauma. Is this the origin of BDSM? Seems like those who do not have trauma are not so much into this. So is it safe to assume that we will be dealing with sexual trauma healing all the time? This is just what my limited experience has shown me. That's a good one. What are you thinking? This makes me really I feel sad for this question. This question makes me feel sad and also makes me feel proud at the same time. Hang out with me here. Because, no, this sexual trauma is not the origin of BDSM. It is not the space. BDSM is not the space for sexual trauma. But you often see people... you do often see people in a lifestyle being open about their experiences with sexual trauma and or being attracted to BDSM because of their sexual trauma. Yeah. Because BDSM and the kink lifestyle or love style, as this person said, which I really like, should create a safe space, a consensual space, a space that allows you to talk about your boundaries, a space that allows you to talk about the things that trigger you, the things that allow you to experience pleasure without being triggered. Mm-hmm. So many people do find that just the entry point of BDSM allows for that conversation. It invites, it welcomes, it encourages, almost requires to have that kind of conversation for it to be BDSM. True. The part that makes me that actually makes me feel really proud that we are a part of a larger communities or a lifestyle and encourage a lifestyle that allows people to address their trauma instead of stuff it, hide it, or just tolerate, things, the the negative things that come with having sexual trauma, and it actually allows you to address it and really respect, the unfortunate parts of it, and or grow and heal, while still experiencing some really like hot intimacy and engagement with someone else. But the part that makes me really sad is that it has that stereotype, right? That a place that you're vulnerable now, and you're talking about the thing that like one in 4, 1 in 5 people experience is
in any profession,
in any
love style.
Yeah. That somehow it's like, because this is the place where we actually deal with it, it starts to get like associated with sexual trauma, when the reality is it's just as prevalent in the spaces where it's not discussed. It's actually, how do you say it, like perpetuated even more.
Yeah, it's kind of like how people have that particular perception about women who are strippers, where they're like, oh, they all have a particular story. And it's kind of like the same thing I think that people have now done with BDSM. I mean, they do the same shit with porn. They're like, everybody who's in porn has some kind of bad experience or whatever. But unfortunately, in the world that we live in, just as you said, was it 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 people have had some kind of sexual trauma. Yeah. So you can go to any profession and be like, doctors have had so much sexual trauma, lawyers, da-da-da-da-da. So I think the point that you made about how in BDSM we do have to address it, because when we're talking about what are some of your triggers, what are your hard and soft limits, why do you want to try this? Like as a dom, like the questions that I ask a submissive to make sure that we're going to have the best possible session, sometimes does delve into some really deep shit. And people do have these epiphanies through BDSM, through that kind of healing or that kind of experience, that they do want to share, like, hey, I was able to reclaim my sexuality or I was able to get past something because of this experience. So they want to share it in a positive way or in a way to protect themselves so it doesn't happen again.
I know, certainly, like, for me as someone who has experienced sexual trauma, like, when we're talking about porn, like, I love porn. I love that it is a controlled environment where I'm going to be able to explore and experience sexual, all kinds of sexual activity, and I'm going to be safe in that space. And even more so why I love BDSM, because I know exactly what's expected of me and what's expected of the person that I'm engaging with, that it allows those experiences from the past to be there in the past. Yeah. They don't interfere with my present because I've had an opportunity to address those things. So yeah, BDSM is definitely a space that you can find either healing and or be able to explore those boundaries. Now, I have seen a lot of people learn their language, how to communicate their boundaries, what to expect, those type of things, and then take it out into the larger space. And I think that that's great too. For sure. Anyways, people have so much to learn from us, from our lifestyle. All right, so here's another question. Saying no to things you aren't into, but your partner is, while still keeping the path to trying new things open. Saying no to things you aren't into, but your partner is.
Compromise.
Yeah, I be saying no to a lot of shit.
Yeah. Find those compromises. It's perfectly okay to not be into the same thing that your partner is into, but there are also ways that you can either support them in it or be a part of it without actually doing the shit. Like, I guess it really depends on your level of not fucking with it. So, like, if it's like, that shit is something I don't want to have nothing to fucking do with, does it change you wanting to be with that partner? If it doesn't change you wanting to be with that partner, then maybe you're just like, okay, well, this is an aspect of our relationship that you have on the side, or however you want to phrase it. Keep me informed. Let me know that however you're engaging in it is safe for both you and me and whoever else is engaged in it. And either y'all talk about it or you don't. right? And but then there's another way. Maybe it's like, I don't want to be involved in it, but I would watch you do it.
Yeah.
Which I find is where when you'll say no to certain things, you'll be like, well, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Or I want it. Would you do it in this way? So then I could feel like I participated in a certain kind of way. Or, I'm not going to do that shit, but I will hook you up with motherfuckers who do that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like so you should check that out.
Like I think that's when it's been me sometimes where I'm like, nah, that ain't really my thing.
But I know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think also, there's been some times within our sexual exploration that I wasn't really sure, like, I don't know how I'm going to feel. But, like, do it and let's find out. And, we can, because we're going in knowing and being honest with, I don't know how I'm going to feel. It's very different than, I don't want you to do that. It's going to have a bad impact. And then you do it anyways, right? But I think when you are honest with saying to someone, not like society says I should feel this way, but like, I don't know how I'm going to feel. I'm willing to find out, and then from there we can figure out, and I think like sometimes we may be saying no to something because we just are unsure. And if we're honest with that, I do think that we can often find a compromise. A lot of things I'm just like, you try it first. Let's see if you get out of it okay, then I'll come.
Or you outsource it.
Yeah. You're very adventurous.
I am an adventurous person.
All right. Let's see. How soon should you reveal a new potential partner?
Right away. Oh, I'm just playing.
To a new potential partner that you're into kink. I think this is really important.
For me, it's kind of hard for me to not reveal it.
Yeah.
But I do think if it's a kink that you can't live without, like it's your shit, then once you're comfortable moving into a space with that person that you would consider to be intimate. Because I don't think if it's the first time you're sitting down with somebody that you gotta be like, you know what I'm saying, I really want you to tie me up and cut me out of some rope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that might not be the first thing, because you want to already be able to gauge if this is a safe person without something that might make them want to change who they are to get into that situation with you. Because like if it's a manipulative person, they might be like, oh, I've always wanted to tie someone up. And you know what I'm saying? And not even that they're going to do something bad when you're in it. They just might be like, I really want to have this experience. So I'm going to try to present myself in a different way. So I think in that way you have to be kind of safe with it. But I wouldn't say you wait so long that you're now like stuck with this person that isn't going to do the shit that you're into.
Yeah, compatibility is really important. I think it's also prioritizing what it is that you are trying to get in this relationship. Like, where in the dating are you? Are you dating for sex? Then you may want to lead with something like that a little earlier. If you're dating sort of for the long haul, which a lot of people are, I agree with you. Like, there are things that you're probably going to like add on to your relationship as you go. So really making sure that this is just a person that you're compatible with in general terms first. Where are you dating at? Some of that information is already available. There's a lot of apps that like
that shit's on your listed. Like I met on the Kink app then.
Yeah.
But I also think it's like when it comes to that, it also depends on the person's personality. Because some people are very unapologetically like, this is all who I am.
Right.
If you can't accept all of who I am, then you accept none of me. So it also depends on your personality. Like if you're also a very shy person and revealing that part of yourself is very hard for you to do, then definitely wait until you're comfortable with that person, and you might not want to, go down certain roads with that person until you feel that you are comfortable enough to get into those kind of conversations with them.
And whether it's fast or slow, I think it is important not to deny yourself, an opportunity to be with somebody that is either open to the kinks that you are or is open to making sure that you can have your kinks met. Because I think that's like kind of the question before it is like, just because the person may not be into what you're into, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not something that you can still explore with someone else or in a different way. So instead of maybe looking for somebody who is into the same kinks, just someone who is open to.
And accepting.
Yeah. But don't deny yourself. So don't hold it in too long. All right. How do you know if you're being non-consensually fetishized or objectified?
If someone can only refer to your beauty or why they like you by that one particular thing, like if they're like, you're so black and beautiful. But you know what I'm saying? Or like, and they'd be like, I just love your blackness skin and all that kind of shit. Then you're like, oh, you're just fetishizing me for my blackness.
Yeah, or they just cannot. Well, here's the other thing too. I think the big part of this is like non-consensually, right? Because I think definitely, well, of course, the fetishization of a person is what you said there. But like the non-consensual part, I think is really like some people don't mind being objectified or.
I think of being objectified and being fetishized for something non-consensually is completely different.
Wrong, right? So so my question is like, how does someone say like this is a thing that I'm really into, without it being awkward or disrespectful? Because I think that is the piece that tends to be missing, is that people feel like they're going to be like looked at as a creep or.
I think like let's say for example, like if you are a person who enjoys like is really into one particular body part. So let's say you, for example, with noses, right? If you can say to somebody like, I do like your face, I do like your nose, and I do like the rest of your humanity and shit, but I really like your nose. It's different than being like, I'm into your nose, fuck the rest of you.
Good point.
So there is like a whole, and also it depends the setting you're in. Because if we're just meeting for like a session you're objectifying me. Like I saw somebody recently said something like, you being attracted to me and you being sexually interested in me is like sexually attracted to me as opposed to interested in me. It's two different things. I phrased that wrong the first time. But like, and then if you're open and honest with that, that's one thing. Also, being able to admit that you are into this body part on many people. Because sometimes people are like, oh, girl, I love your ass. And then you see that person only dates women with a certain kind of body type. Yeah. You, as one of those people, might be like, damn, do you really even like me? Or is it just that I fit this particular body type? So being able to say that I am attracted to this body type, but I'm also attracted to you, or I sought out you because of this, and being honest with the shit does allow somebody to then make their own mind up. Like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you still, or I'm not gonna fuck with you at all.
That is so beautifully stated. And how to be honest, like add that piece to it. I mean, saying like I was drawn in by this because that is something that I really, really like, and you're super cool.
Yeah, I came for the ass.
Yeah,
and I stayed for the rest of you.
I think that's really romantic.
I agree.
So, I mean, I think people hearing us talk about that, it will help, because I don't think that folks always know that it's okay to say those type of things.
It is. If it's the truth, it's okay to say it. Yeah. How people are gonna deal or handle the truth, that's on them. But at least
don't be tricking people.
Yeah, at least if you lay out the truth as the foundation, then everything else can be built on that.
Okay. Here's one, and then we'll go over to see what's in your phone. Scandal. How do you know? My questions that I get are always just like so layered and shit. Like,
because people know you deep.
No, I'm not.
People know you deep.
I hope people go deep. But I'm actually pretty the surface one out of the two of us. How do you know what your boundaries are if you're just being introduced to everything?
It's a good one. Well, I think everyone has a foundation. Like, you do know some things, even if you're new to everything. You do know some things that you're just like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to try that.
Right.
So those are your boundaries that you know. And then the good thing is, though, your boundaries can always change. You can always change. And I think that that's kind of like one thing that people are afraid. Like, yesterday I was into it. Or today I said I wanted to try this. But I tried it, and that shit is fucking terrible. I want it to be my boundary. It's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Even if it's like you invited 30 people over for the gangbang. You started the gangbang. You don't like the gangbang. You can say no to the gangbang. Yeah. You could tell a couple of them to stay. You could tell the rest of them to leave. You could tell all of them to leave. You are the one who determines what your boundaries are and where you welcome people or not.
I have this couple, and they're listening, and they're going to know who they are. Hey, y'all.
Talking about you.
They were just, when they first came into coaching, they were just like, we just want to be like free. We just want to like do everything that he likes. I want to like everything that she wants. They were just like trying to be out there. And they would have like these like amazing, like the way that you would envision like this 30 people gangbang, which I don't even know how they know 30 people that they want to bang. I don't even know it's 30 people in gangs. But I'm older now and we're fine, so I shouldn't know people in gangs. Anyways, they would have like these experiences, and then it would lead to them like being really sad and feeling whether disrespected or disappointed in themselves that they couldn't uphold this like, you know, everything goes type of experience. And so we talked about like having a container to have these experiences, but like you got to have some boundaries. You know, there has to be something that gives you, both of you as partners, some type of like, okay, things are going great, they're going far, but I know that they're going to stop here, you know? And then like take those and bring them back and discuss them. And then see if you want to push them out a little further, you know. So, and things are going much better for them because you don't have to have like this free and wild thing to be cool. Like boundaries are cool.
Yeah.
You know, and they really even help other people know how to engage with you.
You also don't need to be into all of the same shit as your partner.
No.
And your openness is where your freedom is.
There you go. Yeah. So one of the ways that I used to explore, as you're going in for questions, I used to explore my own boundaries is with using time. One of the first times that we did something kinky, or that was like on my super high kinky meter, I was like 30 minutes. We got 30 minutes. I'm giving myself 30 minutes.
Oh, that was at the
Swingers Club. To be in this space. And I kind of use that for everything. When I went on some of those cruises, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the sex me room for 15 minutes. And if it's hitting, I'll stay. And if it's not, like, that's my boundary. So, what you got? See, your shit makes you laugh. Mine be like, I feel really sad about this. I'm like,
how was your cock?
It's great. My lady cock is good, too.
How was it, though? I think it still is. It still exists.
Past, present, and future.
We getting some wild ass questions in here. All right. Let me find a good one, though. So, like, my questions, it's so surface.
I love them. How did you meet?
I'm getting people like, they be asking some wild shit, or it's just like very, like, so straight to the point. Like, we fucking?
Maybe.
All right, so this one I actually get a whole lot.
Okay.
For someone who has never squirted before,
oh Lord,
what are some things I can try to do so?
Okay. So this question has been being asked of us for a very, very long time. So one, I always say that some people squirt, others do not. Always think about where that pressure may be coming from for you if you're a person that does not experience your body in that way. And that's okay. I think that there's a huge theme in content right now that is super squirt heavy, that is making a lot of vulva owners feel like that is sort of a requirement for sexual expression, to be like, I don't know, to be good enough or to be exciting enough. So first off, like, if you don't, you don't, and that's okay. There's many other ways to experience sex. That being said, what I have learned is that there are some exercises that women can do to have more control of their pelvic region, to be able to expel ejaculate, that there is this pressure that you get in your body when you are going to squirt, that if you just allow your body to relax, and it may feel like you have to go to the bathroom, it may feel like you're going to lose control, it may feel like it's the orgasm of all orgasms, just allow it to happen, and it's not going to be pee, and if it is
pee on me,
pee, then like, if it's still squirting, right?
I think it's very important to just build on what you said with, if you're a creamer, cream on. Yeah. Cream on me. Snail trail my face.
Snail trail.
If you are a squirter, squirt on me. Splash Mountain. If you do neither, fine. Do what you do all over me. Like, enjoy yourself. Allow yourself to fully embrace however your body experiences pleasure and all the reactions that your body has for it. And if it's some guy out there that's pressuring you to do it, tell him to fucking do it. Be like, yo, squirt some shit out of your ass.
Right. On demand, please. But I had talked with, because I didn't start to experience squirting on a regular basis until after the birth of our third child. It was something that would happen sporadic. I don't know. I didn't consider myself to be a squirter. And I talked with Marla Renee Stewart over at Velvet Lips. I messaged her because she teaches a class about it. And I was just like, what's happening? She's like, your body's changing. Your pelvic floor has shifted. And I probably just didn't give a fuck anymore. It's just like.
That's another thing. Like, a lot of times, you be with somebody and be like, I feel like I'm going to pee. Let's stop. Yeah. No. And, like, that's one of those sensations that could lead to it. So if you feel it, piss. Last one. All right. How do you choose partners for your entertainment scenes?
Oh, well, usually King has a Rolodex and he sends me options. You are such a gift giver.
You told me you're a sexual opportunist as your love language. So I like to provide opportunity.
He speaks my language.
I do.
Yeah. That is, I mean, you have your like first level of vetting for partners, and then we have sort of our second level of vetting together. And then we bring the person in to see if how we present or what we're offering meets their needs.
Yeah, so for me, it usually has to do with on some form of social media or through companies that I've worked for or worked with, or people who have worked for our company or worked with our company. I see who they are working with, or somebody shares somebody's shit, and I'm like, oh, I like this person's look or their aesthetic or their talents and abilities and shit, and I'll be like, okay.
So
then I'll look into them more, do the whole social media, like, has this person said any fuck shit, or is there something wrong with them? And it's funny because, like, there have been some people that we're just like, holy shit, glad we didn't work with them. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then other people sometimes that they've gotten through the cracks. But, usually there is some sort of like attraction or interest in the person's skill set.
So they can't just DM me like, I want to get in porn.
No.
So, yeah. And for me, people I work with, yes, a company usually will give me some options or tell me who they have in mind. And usually it's based on the parameters of like that I do dom work primarily. Mm-hmm. So it's somebody who's going to sub and they think that I would be able to dominate well. And then for our company, you usually have like a rolling list. And then I take a look at it and I'm like, ooh, I like that they could do that. Or like I have a vision like, ooh, because they could do that, we could do that kind of scene. Yeah. Or social media, I love the way that they speak or that they present themselves. I think that we could have like a lot of dialogue or like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Yeah. We are Royal Fetish Radio, Porn and Politics, and we are going to motherfucking Costa Rica. So if you are worthy, come on with us. And we will see y'all next time. Peace.
Good night.